Welcome to the Honest Hour. I'm your host, Luis Acevedo, and we have a lot to cover today. First thing is going to be the cashless society is a myth. So, the reason I bring this up is because of what just happened in Canada. So, millions of Canadians can't use their debit card due to nationwide internet outage. So we can have a debate about this, but cashless societies are not happening. I guarantee it. So right here, so Canada's Roger Communications Inc. reported widespread network outages on Friday morning, affecting financial institutions, government agencies, law enforcement, businesses, and wireless phones and home internet services. So they made a tweet, and a lot of people were upset that they're paying so much money a month and they can't use this service. But not only that, but people weren't able to use their debit cards, credit cards for transactions, and they weren't able to take out their money from ATMs. So this right here is a perfect example as to why this idea of having a cashless society is a myth. Our digital currency is a thing? Yes, we currently have a digital currency. Our digital currency is the United States dollar. It's primarily on software. Most of your money is not printed. Most of your money is off of the internet and software. So, and everybody that wants to come on in, got to give me a few minutes and then we'll let you in. This is really the only main topic I want to talk about for the news, and then we can jump into the other topics, letting guests on. So, what's going on in Canada shows you exactly why a cashless society is nonsense. It will not happen. It's one of the I get into conspiracy theories for sure, but it's a conspiracy theory that won't come to fruition. And the reason why is because if you have a grid outage like this, or your corporation that's running everything fails, you no longer can do transactions. So it's not only affected the bank, it's affected the largest telecommunication company in Canada and the people. It's a huge, huge downside to society to take away all the cash. They won't do it. They can't do it because it will create too many attack vectors for cyber terrorists. It will create too many opportunities for foreign antagonistic countries to take us out. It just doesn't make sense. What will probably happen is you will have a limited amount of cash as to what you can spend your things on. That's probably what will happen. Is that you will have a limited amount of cash as to what you can spend your things on. It's going to be preferred to use the central bank digital currency. However, you will be able to make small purchases with it, and you will be able to keep some on hand if you so desire. But there will also be issues with the central bank digital currency, such as negative interest rates and being tracked with everything you do. But in attack vectors in a one world gov, please use logic. No, you use logic. It just did happen, right? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, it would make no sense to have cashless societies. It's a national security risk to do that. The government, corporations would not like to do that. Would not do that. But they will like to monitor how you spend a little bit more, and they would like to control that. Obviously, these things are true. They already can do that with the current system we have in our banking systems, and blockchains will also further enable this. College is a scam. All right, it's a scam. Logic was just used on you in the shutdown. What do you think is doing it? Who do you think is doing it? I don't know what you're talking about. The shutdown, as far as this, it could just be a fluke accident. I don't know why they would do that. It only hurts them. It doesn't benefit them in any way. So cashless societies are a myth. They won't actually come into fruition. You will always have money on hand, but it will be demonized for sure. So, yeah, now we can let some people in, talk about some of the things that we have on the back here. We got somebody waiting in. We'll bring them on in, and we can talk about any of these topics. What's going on?
Hello.
How's it going?
What's going on?
Not too much.
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yep. So you're totally wrong about everything.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just spewing out lies at this point.
Okay.
Cashless society, that is the goal. We already see this happening in other countries where we have people are basically implanting the RFID microchip into their hands.
Yep.
And they're using it to scan their hands to purchase products. And that's why we see Bitcoin. We have all these other digital currencies which are becoming the new norm. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they are actually pushing for that, even with Amazon and everything like that. This kind of ties in. You could call it a conspiracy if you want. But even your own president has talked about implementing a new world order. So that is essentially the goal, which actually ties into my spiritual beliefs, which is the Word of God. I'm a born-again Christian, so I do believe that a lot of this stuff ties in together with the Revelations, because it does talk about in the Bible that in the last days you will not be able to buy or sell anything unless you receive the mark of the beast, which will be received in your right hand or forehead. And we already see people implanting tiny microscopic microchips into their hands. Not saying that that's the mark of the beast, but we already have this kind of technology. And it looks like that is the goal that the high degree Freemasons and Illuminati want to make a new norm.
Yeah, we're in agreement. I don't know where we're disagree at. I believe in the Word of God. I believe that there is a new world order. I am very deep in the rabbit hole as far as conspiracies go. But let me ask you this. When you have a nationwide power outage or an internet outage like what just took place in Canada, what logical sense does it make for governments and corporations to enforce a cashless society where now they need cash in order to do their transactions?
They don't need cash. Cash is going to be meaningless. I mean, I think if anything, maybe gold and trading different things like that would probably that would never lose its value. But yeah, that's the goal. Our government doesn't care that we won't be able to buy or sell anything, because that is the whole goal. It's about controlling you guys. So if they can control and keep track of what you're purchasing, and unless you take some sort of a mark of the beast, which can definitely be some sort of a chip or something like that, that is one way that they can implement a one world currency, because that is part of the goal of the New World Order, as is a one world government, a one world religion, a one world currency, which will be under a one world leader, which will be the Antichrist. And yeah, so
But you just said that money is useless. So why would they use it as control if it's useless?
Well, as of now, it's not useless. But I'm saying once they make a one world digital currency, which
they already have.
The beast, at that point, you won't be able to buy or sell anything with just cash, because it says in the Bible that unless you receive this mark, you won't be able to buy or sell things. So
yeah, but you know,
you can't just reject the mark of the beast and go into a Walmart and say, "Hey, I have cash." No, because you won't be able to buy or sell unless you receive the mark of the beast. So how else would they implement that if it was like if they're going to keep cash around?
Well, this is assuming that your theology is correct. There are other interpretations as to what the mark of the beast.
Up really bad, sir.
All right, let me see. Give me a second here.
I can try to get out.
And no, it's all good. It's all good. It's my internet connection. It's all good. So we already have a digital currency. I don't know that most people are aware of that. A digital currency already exists. It's called the United States dollar. the mark of the beast. Give me a second here. This is assuming so I'm going to let him back in. So what I was saying is that hopefully you can hear me better is that we already have a one world digital currency. Most people are unaware of this. It's called the United States dollar. Most of unaware of this as well, that we already have a one world language. It's called English. All scientific papers are written in English. All science, all of the done in English. So that way there's one coherent world language. There's already a digital currency, and it's both from America. These are just truths that aren't accepted. And yes, you can say that we're going to make a central digital bank currency, but once again, sense to even the controllers, which I think you're having a hard time wrapping your head around, simply because this is a strong ideology many Christians hold. And that is, dude, it makes no logical sense. It makes no logical sense, really quick. It makes no logical sense for the people who want to control you to take out their own payment systems, which is what's happening. Therefore, they would restrict the amount of cash that you can have, but you would still be able to take out cash, and things would be preferably spent in digital currency. So what was your question?
Yeah, so what I'm getting at is that I'm not saying that this is just going to happen in our lifetime unless Jesus Christ comes back. If we're truly living in the end times, yes, I do believe that that is their goal, because the simple reason it says in the Bible that you won't be able to buy or sell unless you receive the mark of the beast. So if that does happen in our lifetime, how would you be able to buy and sell using cash?
I'll tell you.
If it literally says that you won't be able to buy or sell unless you receive the mark of the beast.
Yeah, so I'll tell you. I'll answer that really quick. It's very simple. So first off, you're using this theological view that, in my opinion, is wrong. I personally think that not being able to buy and sell has to do with not being accepted by society. It has nothing to do with the currency. It has everything to do with being rejected by society. So, for example, during the whole cough and sniffle debacle where everybody was freaking out over catching a cold, I was unable to go into Walmart because I did not wear a mask. That's a mark of the beast to me. I am unable to, it makes it harder for me to live in society if I don't have a birth certificate or a social security card, but you can. Those are all marks of the beast. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a dollar or a form of currency to buy and sell. It merely needs to be an acceptance into a society to buy and sell. You understand?
Yeah, I could hear you. You're breaking up pretty bad though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you sound so sure when you talk like that. Because,
You sound sure.
Even on like major news stations and things like that, they're talking about this because like how much more safer and how convenient it is, and how they want to implement this, how this is going to be the new form of currency. And I'm talking about microchips. I'm talking about the RFID chip. That people have already been implanting in their hands. They just scan their hands to purchase products. And I think they could even tie like diseases and plagues and say, well, money is dirty. This is much safer.
Which is what I said, yeah.
And you can just scan your hand. It'll hold all your records. And we already have this technology. So I don't know why you're so positive. I mean,
why are you so
saying,
positive?
Oh, well, that's what the government and whoever is, they still use that. But these people are Satanists, so obviously they don't care. They're going to do whatever the devil tells them. So
But why are you so positive is my question. Why does my confidence make you feel as if I'm, not making sense, but your assurance and your confidence in what you're saying makes you think that it makes sense? Why do you feel so confident about this? Because I'm also using the same scripture that you're using, and I'm giving you real world examples. Give me a second here. I'm giving you real world examples of how I've been refused to buy and sell based on me not bending the knee to society that these big block retailers have told me to do. I've been persecuted for that. It's not that they didn't want my money. It's not because I didn't have a chip. It's because I refused the mark of the beast called the mask. And if I wanted to go get a job today,
I mean, at the end of the day, go ahead. You could finish.
I said, and if I, it really had nothing to do with my cash. It had everything to do with my belief system and me standing firm.
I don't mean to be rude. You've been lagging pretty badly. Can you try to maybe turn your Wi-Fi off and on, or I don't know if you can try something to try to fix it, because it's been pretty horrible.
Yeah, I know. It's nothing I can do about it. I mean, we pay good money for our Wi-Fi, and it's just acting like garbage right now. I think it's because of the apartment we're in. But anyway, there's not much I can do about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm right next to the Wi-Fi router.
Yeah,
I'm using my data.
It works a little better than other times. Everything you just said there, it didn't break up like the last time.
So ideology is the mark of the beast, in my opinion, because your forehead, it can be your temple, so therefore it can be your thoughts. And your hand, it can be interpreted as your action. So you need to have the right thoughts and action to buy and sell. Not that you need to be implanted with some chip to be able to purchase things. It's your thoughts and actions that will allow you to transact in society. And if you have the wrong thoughts, think about this. Wrong think. People.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Bro, you're frozen, man.
This is super annoying. Is your Wi-Fi acting up?
Yeah, no, you're just lagging horribly. But I think I got the gist of what you were saying.
Can you hear me any better now?
Man, I don't know.
Internet's been acting up really, really bad. I wish I could share the AOL sound. I know people keep telling me the lag is unreal. I'm sorry, guys. There's not really much I can do about it. You can, but I don't know that it's going to help much. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. My data's been acting up. My Wi-Fi has been acting up. It's weird. But anyway, my whole point was the mark of the beast on the mind and the mark of the beast on your hand. The mind could be for your actions. The mind could be for your thoughts. The hand could be for your actions. So if you don't have the right thoughts and actions, you can't transact in society. That's the mark of the beast.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say 100%. I know exactly what the mark of the beast is gonna be. I know it. I know it talks about have the number of the beast. 666. So but reading the Revelations and then seeing the times that we're living in now, and how we're living in very prophetic times. There's a lot of signs that are coming to pass now. It's almost going hand in hand, as if we were living in the days of Noah. America has just become modern day Babylon at this point. And I don't want to get too much into the conspiracy stuff because I don't want to get banned. But with a lot of the research that I've done, and even seeing like what I said with like the RFID chip, the microchip people are implanting in their hands, seeing that how that's already a thing, and people have been getting implanted with that stuff for years. I mean, we already have a chip on our. And all these kind of weird things like that. And not only that, they're trying to normalize it. They're trying to say, "Oh, this is convenient. This is like they're talking it up." You know what I'm saying? As if this is like some sort of a new convenient way, and this is like going to be like the new norm for the future. So, with all that said, and then from what I'm reading from the Revelations, I can see how that can definitely be their goal. Be a chip or whatever else. But that's my take on it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I know everything, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I totally get where I'm coming from, and nobody's disagreeing that they're making chips to put into you so that way you can do these crazy things. That's actually what I addressed in the very beginning.
Why are you so confident? Like, I mean, me, I'm saying I don't know. I'm saying it looks like they can, but you're saying 100% no, this would never happen.
Yeah.
They already have this technology.
Yeah, because once again, it makes no sense. It literally makes no logical sense. Think of yourself as a corporation or a government, and you say, we are going to make the entire economy run on digital currency.
Bro, these people worship Satan.
I know, but do you understand? Do you understand that Satan? Well, hang on. Do you understand? Do you understand that Satan? Hang on. No. Satan is dude. Do you understand that Satan? No, you're interrupting me. You're interrupting me. So you're interrupting me. So I'm not going to let you finish at this point. So the thing is, Satan is intelligent. To assume Satan is stupid. Satan is intelligent. So if he wants his demonic society to reign for a long time, he will not have a cashless society, because a cashless society will be brought down so easily. Satan is a very intelligent entity, and he knows cashless societies are dumb, and that it's a psyop to get people afraid of something that's fictional. It will never happen. Satan is too smart for cashless societies. This is why I'm adamant about this, because it doesn't make any logical sense for anybody that thinks about it for more than 5 seconds and gets rid of their theological preconception, their assumptions. Dude, it is so obvious to see. It's totally illogical to have a cashless society. It will never work.
Whenever it happens, don't come crying to me.
Dude, what I'm telling you is much scarier than a cashless society.
Told you.
No, what?
Hopefully, guess what? Hopefully, I'm not here if that does get implemented, because Jesus is going to call me back home. But if
Amen.
I have to die for my God, then I'm willing to die for my God. I'm not taking the mark of the beast.
Yeah. So just make sure that you act.
I'm not taking a microchip. I'm not taking anything.
Cool.
I'm not taking their vaccine. I'm not taking anything. Because by the way, this and I'm not going to say 100%, but there are a lot of Christians that do believe that. What can I use a code word for the?
Yes, do so. Yes.
What's the code word?
Well, if you're talking about poison, you can just call them injections or poison.
I'm going to call it the jab. So the jab, a lot of Christians think that it can be a precursor for the mark of the beast. And we saw a lot of people losing their jobs or being almost what's the word? Coerced?
Yep.
Coerced?
Yep.
To take it without so that they don't lose their career and don't lose their livelihood. And people felt like I had a lot of people tell me that they didn't even want to take it per se, but they feel like they had no choice. And I feel like I think they're using that to also control people as well and to spread fear, propaganda. But I'm gonna go because I don't want to get banned. So you have a good night, man.
You too. Yeah, so that's exactly right. Just like they're using cashless societies. So, Tristan Miller, I'm about to let you in, but the second you keep acting the way you're acting in the chat, in person, you're out. So, exactly, external marriages, tattoos, etc. Example. Yeah, so guys, think about it for 3 seconds. Get rid of your there are wacky conspiracy theories, all right? And I am a conspiracy theorist through and through, all right? I remember talking about that event that happened in September when I was in middle school, all right? Telling my friends that it was not organic. Something was up. And I'm telling you, cashless societies make no sense. They make no sense. And if they're implemented, which there is a possibility, if they're implemented, it will be the shortest lived economy structure ever. It would just be too easy. You think that they have all the control? It would just be too easy to destroy the economy. Cash is too expensive. And also, this idea of bartering gold and going back to a gold standard is also not very intelligent if you think about it. The reason I say that is because who owns most of the gold? So you think the people that are getting the cotillion effect and getting all the money because they're close to the money printer aren't also accumulating most of the gold? So the same people who you're complaining about that are running the world off of the fiat currency will be running the world during a gold standard. You are wrong. Biden already signed the order. Dude, nobody is disagreeing with the central bank digital currency. Nobody listens. I swear to God. Because I address all these points at the very beginning. The very beginning, these points are addressed very thoroughly. And then people come on here, people comment, saying things as if I'm unaware of what's taking place. I've already said there will be a central bank digital currency. I've already said that we have a digital currency. I'm basically stating the following. Central bank digital currencies will not be the only form of currency. Okay, you will have access to cash at all times, but it will be reduced to the amount that you can hold. But there will be more monitoring via your spending based on the central bank digital currency. Fair enough. It's all good. It's all good. I'm really not upset. I'm just getting animated. It's all good, toxic and masculine. You're good, bro. I'm just getting a little animated here. I'm really not upset at anybody. Banks here in the U.S. going hard. Yeah, they will. They will have it, but it won't be the end-all, be-all. It won't. They'll have to have cash. Guarantee it. It's illogical to have a cashless society?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, not too much, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. What did you mean college is a scam?
Yeah. It's scam. It's scam.
But no, for real though, I think it's a scam too, though.
Yeah, for sure, it is.
Because like, why we have to pay like $100,000 just to get a degree?
Right, exactly. And why do you have to spend 2 years doing glorified high school?
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's the thing: we spend so much time in K through 12 teaching us about stuff that like we ultimately don't even need to know to be an adult. Like, I mean, like the basic stuff, like elementary and middle school. I get all that. You need to know that stuff. But like high school, like a lot of it, that should just be college right there. That should be college, for free.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that our universities and go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just cut out because my thing is low back. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just saying I just cut out because it's...
All right, so Toxic and Masculine has a really good question here. He says, what about med schools, architecture and engineering, etc.? Really good point. And I think that med schools are going to become more privatized and localized. Same with architecture. If you look at the architecture today, modern architecture is very depressing and bleak and satanic, in my opinion. As far as engineering goes, yeah, we have some good engineering, but I think it's going down the drain really quickly. And as far as med school goes, I mean, I don't know how much I can get into this, but they're up there. Medical institutions in the West are in the top 5 leading causes of unaliving people. So I think that what you're going to see is a renaissance in medicine, architecture, and engineering. And it's not going to be through your main colleges and universities. I think very smart people who are educated in those fields will create their own sort of apprenticeships, which will then evolve into colleges and universities that will be much better than what we see today. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, you can go ahead, Red Hat Facts.
I saw a crazy comment. It was kind of funny. Somebody said college isn't a scam because you learn stuff.
Yeah, that's insane. You learn to be indoctrinated.
Wait, what did you say?
I said that you learn to be indoctrinated there. But do you have anything else that you want to say about college or anything else that's up there?
No, I just wanted to hit on that point because it's a really good point, and I'm still like questioning that because like I'm in college right now, but right now what I've done is I've done only 1 year of the college that you have to pay for, but the rest of it I've done it for free because of something that's going on in my state. I'm just in a special situation, but like I'm considering of whether or not I should do the other half, which I'd have to pay for, and it's like I don't know. It just seems so stupid to me. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just turned 21. So like next year I'm supposed to be done with college. Like I'm supposed to have like I'm supposed to have 2 more years. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy. But yeah, I definitely think it's a scam though.
For sure. I mean, you can, and I think trade schools are a scam too.
Insurance is a huge scam.
Insurance is it is a scam in some ways. I said trade schools, maybe it got cut out, but trade schools I think are also scams. But yeah, colleges are major scams. I mean, you can learn exactly what you want to learn just by going on YouTube or browsing the internet, finding people that are successful in the field that you want to be in.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could do all this literally for free.
Exactly. And then so we have college tuition as a scam. No, colleges deserve to be paid for providing what is supposed to be top tier education.
It's crazy.
But, it isn't top tier.
About college scam though. But
yeah,
definitely.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah. So what do I mean by cashless society is a myth? It's a fear tool that people are using against truthers and conspiracy theorists to get them afraid that they won't have cash someday and they'll be tracked with everything they do, but they already kind of are tracked with everything they do. And also, it doesn't make any logical sense for a government and corporations to withdraw all the cash, because what happens if you have what took place in Canada, where one of the biggest telecom companies went down and people were unable to access their cash. They were unable to use anything with their debit cards or credit cards. Doesn't make any sense. Yet you put your Cash App underneath. People are so stupid. Like, how does this disprove anything I'm saying that I have my Cash App there? I can easily withdraw that, right? And we already have a cashless society. We don't have a cashless society. If you finished college, you would have learned why. I did. I have multiple degrees. Speaking from experience. My wife also has degrees. I know many of people who have college degrees. Government is the biggest gangsters going. Yeah. I thought you meant cashless society as the goal of Marxism, etc. No, I mean, just the idea of cashless societies. It's very simple, guys. What does cashless mean? No more cash, physical, tangible cash in society, right? So that means you can no longer pull out a dollar bill and spend it at where you're at. That's what that means. That is a myth. I couldn't sit still in school, didn't fit. Yeah, I mean, totally get that. All digital could be an example. Yeah, that's an example. All digital, but you're never going to have that. I mean, cashless societies have existed, but they haven't been exactly the best in history. I don't know of one cashless society that's existed. Maybe you can give me an example, but that also reiterates what I was stating as well, that if it does exist, it would be a very dysfunctional and short-lived economic system. It would be. Let's see here. True, but colleges provide a structured way to learn things you can learn on your own. I do agree that's ideally how colleges should function, but that's not how they function today, which is why I stated you will have very intelligent people who are experts in a variety of fields who will create apprenticeships, which will then evolve into colleges and little schools, things like that are focused on one area. That's how I think the new colleges are going to be built. They're going to be much better than the colleges we see today. How can we have family when government is Good question. That is the right question, but it's also a very easy one to answer. Just don't be that, and get a wife or get a husband and make some babies. Islam has a solution for all problems. Islam's pretty based, but I prefer Christianity. Cambodia and the anarchist society in Ukraine in the 1920s, but weren't enjoyable. How do they have cashless societies, though? What do you mean cashless? I guess now I should really define this. Do they have digital? Like, what do you mean cashless? This is interesting. I'm not questioning that what you're saying is truthful. I'm just interested in what you're saying. Can you tell me how I can get my speech pathology job without a master's degree, which is required? Yeah, I mean, this is so. These things are so dumb to say. Do you realize that there used to not be college and people used to master certain skills? Do you not understand that? And with all the information you have at your fingertips on your cell phone and in a library, you can learn these things without going to school. But that doesn't mean that you can't have, it doesn't mean that it would be harder for you to get a job if you don't have a degree in that profession. That's not the argument I'm making. What? I'm sorry, there used to not be speech pathologists as well. Yeah, fair. But I'm talking about a myriad of other professions that did not exist before, and you just learned, as I stated before. Guys, pay attention. Class is in session. I'm speaking some stuff here that nobody's listening, and this is very, very true. Back in the day, you used to have apprenticeships from experts. Those experts teach you their expertise, and then you slowly become an expert, and then you can teach other people to do that field. Yes, ideally, once again, ideally, school and colleges should be that, but they're not now. No, you can't because you don't have the books. They are not in the library. Oh my God. Guys, it is so easy to get this information. So easy. You can pay yourself. I personally do this with my research. I go to JSTOR. There's a couple other places that I can't remember off the top of my head, but JSTOR is a huge academic resource. If you want, you can pay for a subscription to get all of these academic peer-reviewed studies at your disposal. So if you're really adamant about your profession, cut out your Netflix, cut out your Amazon Prime, stop eating out, and freaking pay for the subscriptions that give you up to date. You can get the journals in which the professions in your academic field are writing in. Philosophy journals, scientific journals, physics journals, all these things. You can get these journals on your own, guys. You don't need an institution to get them. And let's say you did. Enroll in a community college and never take a class and use your community college IDs. Like, come on. Both societies fall, but quickly over cash existing. I don't know what that means. I prefer my heart surgeon to be someone from med school than homeschooling. Nobody's disagreeing with you there. There are certain professions that, yes, it is ideal that you be trained in a standardized fashion. Totally agree. What I'm saying is that those institutions are dying, and I'm giving you my thought as to how they will be revived by people who are experts in said field because of their education, and they weren't corrupted, and then they create other colleges and other institutions slowly, but it begins by what? Apprenticeships. Apprenticeships are in trades, not in medical fields. You dumb. Universities have existed for hundreds of years. Not thousands, not millions. They're relatively new. And nobody's saying, I'm done. I'm done addressing these points. I'm done. It's easy to be misinformed on the internet. How are you determined? Once again, go to JSTOR. Go to any academic peer-reviewed site that you have, that you want. Pay for the subscription. I've done it before. I've done it before. Your studies in front of you isn't a replacement for education. I'm done addressing your points. Colleges also function as a tool of socialization and expanding your views. They should be free too. Why do you need to go to college to socialize? That's insane. I can expand my views and socialize in the workplace too. It's not insane, but it's not really a good reason. I can do all that from just going into the work field, getting a traveling salesman job, make more money, don't go into debt. So you don't have an argument? I do. You're just not paying attention, or you're just not able to comprehend. I would not trust someone to do what I do without an education. You guys are equating education with college, but you can be educated without college. And you can also be very intelligent, which is arguably more important than education, than somebody who went to college. Yes, but universities used to have the technical side of things, but they kicked them out. Once again, you can have these things. It's like buying a Japanese dictionary to learn Japanese without structure. You can't. You certainly can, because this is a dumb analogy. That's a dumb analogy. I can pay somebody who's fluent in Japanese and fluent in English to teach me to learn that. My grandma, my aunt were fluent in Spanish. They came to the United States. Well, they were already in the United States because they're Puerto Rican. And guess what? They watched freaking TV shows and interacted with people in the real world to learn English. I think my aunt may have taken some courses, but my grandma didn't. My grandma didn't, and you couldn't tell. that my grandma wasn't actually in some school to learn English. She speaks it well. Her grammars are okay. Her grammar's okay. She has an accent, but that's a weak analogy. The problem isn't school. It is that education is so expensive in America. No, the problem, well, yes, in part it is expensive. However, the major problem has to do with the education and what they're being taught. What did you think? What did you do it in? What do you think have the expertise of a master's degree in? I never claimed that I have these things. I never did. Don't put it in your background if you don't talk. I am talking about it very much. Too much, actually. The best way to learn a language is literally move to the country. Hey, thank you. For instance, my college required culture and community. We went in the... Okay. Once again, what if I'm a traveling salesman? You don't need a degree. You don't need a degree for that. What if I'm a door-to-door salesman? What if I do cold calls? You know what? Better yet, what if I decide to be a mobile mechanic to go help semi-truckers on the road? I'm going to meet a lot of different people. You don't need a college education for that. Oh, well, what if I want to study abroad? Then just take a vacation abroad. Go work on a farm abroad. People don't do it. Jay Stewart without statistics is why we have people thinking they know research. Well, you can also learn how to do real research. That's the beauty of the internet. But there are people who go to college and they don't really get much out of it because they're not supposed to be there. Yes, college is how you get educated within current niche fields. No, you can get educated on these fields without going to college in the most efficient way possible. Once again, ideally, yes, but that ain't the case anymore. Why do you waste 2 years? Why is it that almost every American college student, it's like 2/3 of every American college student, has to take remedial English courses? Or I think it's 2/3 remedial English courses and 1/3 math courses. You have to spend 2 years taking glorified high school classes. If college was the most efficient way possible, it would say, what do you want to study? And then for 2 years, because that's the amount of time you get to really focus on your major, then focus those 2 years on your major, but they don't do that. So it is not the most efficient way. It is not. Yeah, and I could easily look those words up, figure out what they mean, figure out how to implement that. But there are going to be people who are too, I don't know how to really phrase this, who aren't aware enough that they don't understand what they're looking into, and then they'll just destroy it. It happens all the time. Have big families, huh? Yeah, have big families. By paying someone to teach you isn't it the same with college? Ideally, yes, but colleges today come with a lot of baggage, indoctrination, and, as I've already addressed, unnecessary education most times. It's hard to learn Latin outside. Yeah. Resources. Yeah, but you can. University's degrees do not equal intellect. It equals repetition. Most college students do is, yeah, I agree with that. Do you think learning a language and learning things like etymology are comparable? But you can, yeah, in the sense that you don't need to go to college to do that. Like, you can do your own research if you're intelligent enough. That's mainly it. If you're intelligent enough, you don't need to go to college to learn these things. You can learn Latin easily by going to Latin Mass. Helped me a lot. That too. Really good point. You did. You explicitly said, I did it when you were talking about gaining expertise. Oh, what I was talking about as far as doing research from Jay Stewart or other academic publications in which I was interested in learning about these fields. But I didn't claim that I was an expert in any of the fields. I do prefer to study history. I like philosophy and theology. However, I would never claim that I am an expert in philosophy or theology. That would be insane. But yes, I have used those sources. That's what I meant. I did it. I did it as in I got JSTOR. I got these other things. Then be a door-to-door salesman. Is everyone going to be that? They don't have to be that. You're missing my point. You're being very narrow-minded. What is intelligence? The ability to quickly solve problems. Yeah, I mean, I could get a dictionary in the biological field. I can get a dictionary, figure out what these words mean, and then go back to the paper. You can. Anybody can do these things. I don't know why this is hard to believe. You guys are brainwashed to think that you need college to understand these things, because a lot of them learned English just by moving to the country. Rounding out knowledge is important. We need engineers and scientists to be able to write those reports. Nobody's disagreeing. That's the fault of high schools. It is. And an overall decline in intelligence. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Nah, tea time gets it. You can. It's almost impossible for the current niche fields. Almost impossible. So we're on the same page, but it's not impossible. Didn't say it was easy. That's never been my claim. Any school is good. Don't agree with that. I have a bachelor's of science and worked in a few fields. Honestly, learning begins in work. Exactly. You're saying a lot for not even checking your topics and how they are spelled. Okay. The more you know, the better you understand life. Maybe, because what if what you're learning and what you think you know is just a belief? And what if it's just pure indoctrination? Only have a big family if you can afford it. You can afford having a big family. Poor people do it all the time. Higher education is not indoctrination. It's about opening the mind. Yeah, to bullshit. Cashless society is definitely not a myth after today in Canada. You actually just used my topic to make that I made my point for, that the point was made for. They were unable to withdraw money. Banks weren't able to get transaction fees. Companies weren't able to get paid. Yeah, totally. But I challenge you to take a college course in the subjects you have self-taught yourself. Okay. I mean, if you're going to pay for my college class, even then, I wouldn't do it. It's a waste of time. Based on what do you solve? Based on what you, I'm thinking you meant based on what you do to solve problems. I don't know. So you think philosophy and physical science are compatible for that? All right. Do you know how the brain works? No, I mean, I don't really understand the functionality of the brain. I know some things. I read this interesting book on neuroscience a little while ago, but it was like years ago. But no, not really. I mean, I understand like there's neurons, there's synapses, there's axons or whatever the freak they're called. They all help transmit messages, but I don't know. I don't know much about it. No, it works with info in it, not info that you can research. Go, but have a great day. You too. Is college really a scam? Yeah, it is. Half of America is unable to critically think. How can they? I know I made this point. So why have them go to college if they can't think? It's dumb. That's why they stay poor. Or that's why they get wealthier over time. No, it is not. It is not satire. And it's meant to say scam. But, in my country, majority of the poor have big families and parents use their children as a retirement plan. Yeah, why not? Let's chat about toxic masculinity. Let's do it, toxic and masculine. Some people use only 7% of their brain. I use 100%. Facts. Same here, toxic and masculine. Because you learn critical thinking in college, but if you don't have the intellectual capacity to learn how to critical think, then it does you no good. Yeah, so toxic masculinity, let's bring that back. Let's make it great again. How is it going with your... Yeah. So your solution? I've already listed my solution numerous times. Everyone uses 100% of it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's true. My solution is very easy. The very smart people who are experts in said field begin to have apprenticeships where they take somebody under their wing, they teach them everything they know in their said profession that slowly builds based on their ability to teach, their ability to reach and market, etc. And then that becomes a new school. I mean, that's how it used to be. All set, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so toxic masculinity, toxic and masculine wants to talk about toxic masculinity. It's an insane thing. It's not real. I mean, I guess toxic masculinity can be real, but it's not real in today's society. It would take me years to teach them my field, and mistakes would unalive people. Yeah, trained professionals unalive people all the time. And your point? And also, it takes years for people to get a college education. Sometimes it takes the average person. It takes 5 years. You're not helping your point. What do you think was used to trade before currency was invented? Yeah, if we want to go down that route, yes, you can barter. It's a very simplistic way of looking at the brain. What's your goal with this channel? Yeah, so to build a community, very good question. Thank you for asking that question. To build a community of like-minded individuals who are seeking truth and aren't afraid of talking about, these difficult topics, and, to inform people. Ultimately, we are, if you look at our TikTok, we are primarily a news political site. We try to keep you up to date with everything, and provide you with different perspectives that you may not hear from the mainstream media or a lot of alternative sources. And like I said, to create a community of like-minded people where hopefully one day we will be able to work together in the real world to do some of the things that we are encouraging others to do in the real world, such as localized supply chains, building up strong communities, supporting local businesses, the businesses within our communities, that stuff. So that's ultimately the goal. I guess the closest thing that comes to my mind by toxic masculinity are dumb jocks. Yeah, I guess. But that's just a stereotype. I mean, toxic masculinity wouldn't be so much dumb jocks. It would be insane control and insane aggression. Like absurd levels. Not the levels that people think today are insane or absurd, because the testosterone levels have dropped tremendously in men today. Their whats are shrinking. I mean, like, come on. Currency was invented by the elite to control the masses. Nah, man. currency was invented as the easiest form of transaction on a large scale. Them behave in ways that are unhealthy for themselves or lead to negative outcomes. Is it to get rid of capitalism? I don't know. None of you would survive a month without the grocery store. Probably not. I fortunately, help out at a local farm. I go there about 2 days a week in exchange, get some raw milk, get some honey, get some meat, get some eggs. But yeah, that's why I don't wish the collapse of any society. I don't want the Fed to go away. Don't want any of it, because I realize my level of dependence on it. I'm working to become less reliant, less dependent on it and become more independent. Hence why I'm helping out the farm, and that helps my family out tremendously. But, and hence why I'm encouraging people to localize their supply chains, But yeah, so masculinity is a big thing that we lack. I bet you really don't. You really don't, because if you're saying that, you haven't thought it through. Wicked Wise 13. And if you have thought it through and you still want it, no. That's why in a potential collapse, the people who prepped or the people with gun, yeah, for sure. It's collapsing, bro. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to collapse. We've been saying that forever. What's your take on toxic masculinity? Mostly a myth. Yes, I do. Been thinking about it for 29 years. Then you're very depressed or nihilistic. I have a family. I have small children and a wife. So, yeah, definitely don't want that. I've invested in it. It's the birth of a new financial system. Yeah, I agree with that. It is the birth of a new financial system. Cryptocurrency. I'm all for it. I'm a big fan of cryptocurrencies. Can you elaborate? Yeah. No, I believe we will be okay. Yeah, not everybody, but those who are preparing, those who are working on becoming more self-sufficient. Yeah. Do you think the society expects behaviors out of men that can lead to harmful behaviors? No. So here's my take on toxic masculinity. It's very simple. As far as the Western world goes, it's total nonsense. It ain't real. Men, their testosterone levels are dropping very quickly. Very quickly. And they're just becoming soy boys. So it's nonsense. It's nonsense. What we're witnessing actually is a over-feminization of society. It will be bad and people will be on it. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that in some ways. There will be no collapse. There will be an economic downturn, but not. Yeah, that's what I mean. There will be no Mad Max collapse. I don't believe that at all. So you just make up something unrelated to toxic masculinity? Testosterone has nothing to do with that? I don't know what to tell you if you don't understand what I just said. I really don't. Masculine traits. Let me guess. You think phytoestrogen makes men and women? Cashless societies is a myth. Look up central bank digital currencies. It's why crypto was created. All right. Guys, I've already made these points. Disagree. It does make transactions easier. But who distributed the currency? Fair. That's a fair point. I couldn't discuss the estrogen thing. No, it's just nonsense to talk about, really. I mean, toxic men doesn't have anything to say with biology. It is society's idea of masculinity. I don't know. It's pointless to really talk about this with you guys then. It's really obvious. Men are becoming weaker. I thought you didn't like soy. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously bad for you. It's not good for you. It causes a bunch of health issues. So, I mean, but hey, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing. You're going to have a lot of complications. Oh, why? Because you made up a definition or a word. I didn't either. Testosterone is linked to masculinity. I mean, it's very obvious. What harm does it do? Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of health complications that come from soy. I mean, a lot of our diseases today are, like autoimmune diseases. I've been linked to it, if I'm not mistaken. Makes you more docile. No, masculinity is a social construct. Oh my God, soy milk is good. It prevents cancer. Nonsense. Toxic and masculine. I'm starting to think that your name is there as a joke. Is what self-research does everyone? Complete nonsense. Guys, does anybody in here have children? Let me ask a better question. Does anybody in here who's saying that masculinity is a social construct have children? Really have no idea what soy does. It isn't harmful. Okay. Like these are really pointless things to debate on. I have 3 adult children and 2 grandchildren. Cool. So you are literally delusional if you do not see that there's a difference between a male and a female. I've literally reached the end of TikTok. Cope. It isn't cope. Like, it's just insane. Yeah, it's pointless because you're delusional about how research works. No, it's just really insane. Like, there's just no point. I have read about soy. It prevents cancer, but it's irrelevant. I agree. I don't think that it prevents cancer. I don't think that it's very good for our bodies. I could be wrong as far as preventing cancer, but it's definitely not good. A raw animal-based diet is the way to go for humans. A raw animal-based diet. It's the human's natural diet. It is. And anybody who has children knows that there's a distinct difference naturally between a boy and a girl. Brought it up because he said soy boy unironically, and that's a massive red flag. Because it's a thing. It's a real thing. A lot of people that I know, pretty much everybody that I know, which I don't know many of them because I don't associate with them, because we just have totally opposing worldviews. But every guy that I know that's like a vegan, vegetarian, loves their soy, super high-pitched voice, super feminine behaviors. Okay. What masculine traits do you have? If it is a natural diet, pasteurization wouldn't be such a big hit. Well, there's a big conspiracy about pasteurization. Look into it. This is a massive beta behavior. Okay. Biggest projection vibes. I mean, what you're doing right now is like literally beta and troll, like trolls, which is what you've been doing pretty much this whole time, is like the epitome of beta. Just so you know. I mean, why don't you show your face? Why don't you come on here and have a discussion? Hiding behind a keyboard is extremely beta. See? So, let's see. Because I don't make content? No, because you come and you're a keyboard warrior. Why can't I hear your voice? There's a guest request right here. Like right there. That's why. I mean, you don't have to make content. Making content's not for everybody. But being a troll, I said it's because I don't make content. Or because you're afraid, but whatever. It ain't a big deal. So, all right, guys. Toxic masculinity is nonsense. Have big families. Colleges, by and large, are a scam. And societies, they can be cashless. So I'll rescind that because you can have a bartering system. But they won't be cashless in all digital societies. I don't, that doesn't make sense to me. It could happen, but I think the chances are very, very low. And I think it's a fear tool. But yeah, we need to make men stronger because the reason why society is going through everything it's going through is because men are weak. This is a good conversation. Glad you enjoyed it. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll end it with this. Men need to be better leaders of their households. They need to stand their ground and start eating some raw animal products. Even though I don't agree with half of what you said of what you were saying, that's cool. That's cool. So, yeah, I mean, most of society's problems today, now that I'm on this little bit of a toxic masculinity thing, are a direct result. Thank you for the rose. Are a direct result of men just being weak. That's really all it is. So, you know, and a lot of that has to do with the corruption of diet, which I can't talk too much on. I have a huge sweet tooth, but if we have stronger men, you would have better laws, you would have better politicians, you would have better families, you would have better women, you would have a higher moral standard in society. These things are just obvious to anybody who gets it. I mean, I don't know. These are just very obvious things that we've seemed to have forgotten. But all right, I'm gonna get out of here. I've been going for about an hour, 12 minutes. And, I'm gonna call it a night. Might come back on tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, much love. Peace.